This is Jesus Manuel Menegarza for RV and Travel Adventures. Hope you're doing fantastic wherever you're at. In this video, I'm going to be talking about RVing in the Latino community. My experiences, I only can talk about my experiences. There are various Latinos out there from New York to Miami to Washington State to Los Angeles to San Jose to Texas to Kansas City. Even in Shipshewana, Indiana, they're Latinos. Latinos are not monolithic. They're not just, of one type. There are Afro-Latins, there are indigenous Latinos, and there are Spanish Latinos, and mestizaje, which is a combination of different ethnicities. A blending, a hybridization called, again, mestizaje. So as a mestizo, product of various cultures, I can talk about my experiences. My parents are originally from South Texas. My mother was born in Crystal City. My father was born just slightly across the border in Coahuila, in the small town called Avujita. And there are a lot of Garzas on the border region. Garzas are like Smith, across the United States, or Yoders in Indiana. So my family has deep roots in Texas, and a lot of Texans and Oklahomans and people from all across the United States have migrated to California during the 30s and 40s, and my parents raised me during the 50s, 60s in Silicon Valley. Previous to moving to Silicon Valley, my parents were migrant farm workers. They were camping a lot and didn't like it. That's why they bought a house in Silicon Valley back in the late 40s for under $6,000. Good deal compared to what people pay today. So my parents would drive their vehicle, a truck, from Crystal City, Texas, going north. As things got warmer up north, they would get jobs picking, manicuring, taking care of fields, be they trees, fruits, or vegetables, or nuts. And they'd go all the way to Minnesota, and those Montana. In fact, I have one sister born in Montana. I have family living in Moorhead, Minnesota, and Fargo, in the Dakotas. So we have family all over the place because of migrants. They were migrants, and some of them found full-time jobs in those communities. And we camped. My parents camped. But as I was growing up, and after my parents bought their modest little home in the north side of San Jose, California, they didn't do any more camping. They didn't take me camping at all. They did not like camping at all. When they originally came to Silicon Valley, they lived in a tent in the mountains while they worked in the fields in what is now Silicon Valley. But then it was called the Garden City, okay? The garden, there were a lot of, orchards of peaches, apricots, picking green beans, all kinds of stuff. It was a very verdant area, and still is quite verdant. Excellent soil in Silicon Valley. So again, I'm starting off talking about Latinos and camping with my parents, who camped a lot when they were migrants. But when they came to Silicon Valley, they stopped all that. They stopped that. They nixed it. They said, no mas, we're not going to go for camping. So we never went camping as an elementary school student, as a junior high school student. It wasn't until I went to college, my friends and I started to go camping in Big Sur. And go different locations. And then eventually, when I got married, I took my kids to Big Sur also, and we went camping, my wife and I. When the kids got older, we would go to, let's say, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and eventually we moved here to Texas, where my wife settled. Okay, we settled currently. We're planning to move back eventually. So there's a long history in my familia, and of course my wife's family, her parents, who are from Minnesota, Iowa, they went on extensive camping trips. My wife is German American. I am Mexican American, or Chicano, Hispanic, Latino, whatever you want to call me, okay? Currently, when I go camping in certain areas, there are a lot of Latinos. These Latinos are in RVs that are new, but many are very old, 20, 30-year-old RVs that are rather affordable. And they go camping. They go in the mountains, in different parts of New Mexico, Arizona, and parts of California that I've been to, and of course in Texas too. So Latinos do a lot of camping. Of course, with higher incomes, more affluence, and you get a better camper. But when you're starting out, a lot of people out there, lower socioeconomic Latinos, or people in general, and if you don't have any money, you only buy what you can afford. So I saw, recently I was camping in New Mexico, and I saw a lot of older campers with, again, Latino families. They bring the whole family out. They travel 100 miles, 200 miles, and take their kids camping. They go fishing, stuff like that. So I just wanted to emphasize in this video that Latinos are not only growing in numbers in the United States for various reasons, but they're also growing in affluence. And of course, the RVing community has a large influx of Latinos. And there have been articles in some of the publications, industry publications, that detail that Latinos are a growing influence in the RVing market. They used to be a small portion, now they're getting larger and larger. And if you went to some of the plants in Elkhart, Indiana, in Iowa, Michigan, where they make a lot of these RVs, there are quite a few Latinos now working, manufacturing in the RVing industry. Again, that's because of migration patterns, okay? Latinos, like anybody else, they go where the jobs are. If there's jobs over there, if your cousin got a job at, Jayco, hey, we got some openings. Come on to Jayco. I'll tell you all about them. And we can set you up, and you can get on the line and help out making Jayco travel trailers or other products by different manufacturers. So Latinos are making them RVs. They're using the RVs, and with the gaining affluence of Latinos, they're buying better RVs. My sister Dolores, who lives in San Jose, has a Class C. My sister Carmen, who lives in Silicon Valley, has a nice little ranch also. They both have nice ranches in the hills of Silicon Valley, and they're both quite affluent. She has a Class A on her property. And when I'm going to visit Silicon Valley to visit my sisters, brothers, cousins, children, even possibly my grandchildren, nephews, and nieces, I'm going to park on her ranch property. There's plenty of room. I'm going to park on a ranch property, connect an extension cord, and stay there. It's going to be fabulous. She has a nice view of the whole valley, okay? Very nice. So, again, my family is very basic. My mother couldn't read or write, okay? She put an X when she cashed her check. Eventually, I told her how to write her signature, and she just wrote it, and that's all she could write. She couldn't read it. She just wrote a signature. I just put Lupe, blah, blah, blah. And she did that, and that's how she signed her checks. And she was very proud of that. My father had a bit more education. I think he went up to the 2nd grade. Very modestly educated individuals. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from a university. The rest of my family was pretty much in the military. All my older brothers and sisters were all in the military. I'm the only person that went straight to college, okay? That was a choice that I made, okay? So there's quite a few Latinos, again, emphasizing this point, making RVs, using RVs, having fun, camping, because we all, every ethnicity, whatever ethnicity you are, we enjoy the great outdoors, and we enjoy camping, fishing, hiking, seeing Mother Nature in all its splendor, and it's all super fabulous, okay? So I really enjoy camping. My parents, not so much. My children have continued the tradition. They go camping also with their children, my grandchildren. So I hope you're doing fantastic wherever you're at. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much ahead of time. And if you have the time, also please leave your kind and super friendly comments below. Abajo, as they say in Spanish. From Fort Worth, Texas, gracias, adios, bye-bye.